Hello, hello, hello! I'm Lynnea.
And I'm Dan.
And this is
Dusted or Busted.
So basically, Ru announced Snatch Game. They all started getting to work. And I thought it was interesting that this week how the alliances have shifted a little bit, and Bianca and Adora seem to be making quite the team. And up until this point, I really have not had very many good things to say about Adora, but this week, she changed my mind. I liked her, and it's not just because Bianca likes her, for all of you who just think that I follow wherever Bianca leads me. But I did think that they found some commonalities, and their humor together was really good.
RuPaul does his walkthrough before the main challenge, and he comes up to Milk, and he asks just like, oh, who are you impersonating? And Milk says she's doing Julia Child.
Ru asked her to do like her Julia Child impression or something, and Milk kind of bumbled her way through it, and then Milk says, I'd rather you have low expectations so I can blow you away. And RuPaul goes, you've succeeded.
She asks, have you seen Snatch Game on our show before? And Milk goes, what show? Darian is talking about Milk's look. And I love that she mentioned Milk's fashion. Her fashion isn't quite what I would expect. And I loved that Darian didn't say her drag. That's one thing that I noticed. She didn't say drag, she said her fashion.
So last week we kind of went through who was doing what, and we mentioned that Gia was doing Kim Kardashian, but from watching the episode, she was originally going to do Selena, not Selena Gomez, just Selena. And Gia's already putting, like, she has her makeup half done when she decides to change who she's going to do. And I just thought, are you going to start over or just keep going or what? But I thought that was not the best strategy for her to already be like in drag makeup and then decide that she's going to do somebody different. I saw on Twitter, someone tweeted Michelle Visage and said that Dela should have been Michelle Visage. And Michelle tweeted back and was like, too obvious.
Yeah.
Like, that's been done. And just because they look alike doesn't mean that Ben could do a good Michelle Visage. I don't think that she would have been awful at it. But I agree with Queen Michelle now. So then we got to Snatch Game. And first of all, Bianca as Judge Judy was giving me life. I was so happy with everything she said. If you don't already know, Judge Judy has an app for her show. And part of the app is all of these quotes from her.
No way! Yes. I didn't know that.
All of these Judy-isms. And I downloaded it today, and I looked, and the very first, and all of them have, like, a picture of her face, like, a moment from her in her show, and she's always, like, given the side-eye, and it is sassy, and the first one that comes up is one of the first things Bianca said was, don't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining.
I didn't know that was an actual quote.
This was an actual thing. So I tweeted Miss Bianca today, and I said, girl, if you don't already have this, you should. It's hilarious. So I love Judge Judy, and I thought that she did an amazing job. And when she pulled out that puppet and then threw it at Gia, oh, that was hilarious. Dela did an amazing job, which I thought was interesting because in the workroom, her Maggie Smith was not good.
I really like how she made it like the old character from Downton Abbey.
Mm-hmm.
And not just
Maggie Smith.
The one Snatch Game question about Chelsea Handler's new flavored vodka. And Dela goes, as Maggie Smith, she goes, I think it would be marvelous if they made libations of citrus. How magnificent can you imagine? I was sitting on the couch cracking up for some reason. That was like the funniest thing I have heard in a long time.
That was a great line. And when she turned to the queen next to her and goes, we originated the language, that was funny too. So she had some amazing one-liners.
That was Trinity.
I was really impressed with two queens in particular, Jocelyn and Adore.
Jocelyn was so freaking hilarious.
She did a great job, which I didn't think she would. She kind of reminded me of when Tatiana did Britney, and most people were like, this isn't going to go well. But then she turned it out. I thought she held her own, because Snatch Game is one where you can really get lost with the other queens, because we had some strong competitors.
This was the tightest Snatch Game.
Jocelyn, she got her little camera time in. Not a lot during Snatch Game, but she got her little moments in, and she made it work for her. And Adore, who, as we have stated, we didn't really appreciate at all until this week. Her Anna Nicole Smith had me gagging. I thought it was hilarious, and she stayed in character, and she had the look, and props to her. That was fantastic.
I think Jocelyn was about this close for making top 3. Will you just say prostitution horses in your Jersey voice?
Prostitution horses. I thought it was interesting that during the actual Snatch Game, they did not show a lot of Jocelyn or Milk. They showed a little bit of Darian, and they really didn't show Courtney that much, which probably worked out in her favor, because her Fran Drescher was okay, but not really passable. I don't think she was the worst by any means, but she was close. Darian, I don't think she did a poor job, but she was one who got lost in the crowd. She was just overshadowed by everyone else. Night of 1,000 Ruse.
So they walked down the runway looking like the supermodel of the world herself.
Well, some of them did. Bianca, I liked her look. I don't think it read to me as like, oh, that's RuPaul.
One of the guest judges said, you don't look at that and immediately think RuPaul.
Exactly. But it was gorgeous. And it looked amazing on her. It just didn't fit the category. I would like to see Jocelyn's makeup be a little bit heavier, especially for this challenge, because her eyebrows were so light and her eye makeup was so light that it didn't really read to me that well on the runway or even just in the lounge. Dela's look was good, very on point with the RuPaul theme. Trinity's look, my jaw dropped to the floor.
She always brings her best to the runway.
It looks like something RuPaul would wear. She came out and I was like, it's over. That's it.
And later she said that she made that herself.
She did make it herself. Oh, that dress was amazing. Laganja seemed to be one of the only ones who didn't come to the challenge who had a dress that was modeled after RuPaul's.
If there's something specific, like for example in season 2, the country realness, they will tell them ahead of time, please be prepared to wear this on the runway. Okay. Because I noticed on Facebook that April posted, this is what I would have worn tonight, and it was like one of her supermodel looks. So
maybe they do tell them ahead of time.
They tell them some things. Like, obviously they're not going to tell them, this week you're going to have to make something out of hair. Like,
Adore, again, as much as my love for her has improved leaps and bounds this week, her look, and I think one of the guest judges said it, it looks like Adore. Oh, that was Michelle. Yeah. She just said, she was like, no, that's Adore. Again, bringing up Tatiana, it looked kind of like the material she wears a lot of times. And I would agree with the judges with what they said about Tatiana. Also applies to Adore. I thought it looked kind of cheap. And I just think that she can do better than that.
I had to disagree with Michelle's critiques. Like, I thought it looked like RuPaul, and I thought the hair looked mostly like Ru. I think Michelle just has it in for Adore.
Yeah, well, once someone rubs you the wrong way early on, it's hard sometimes to get away from that. Hey! No, it's true. Courtney came down the runway looking like a Victoria's Secret angel. I thought that was a good look for her, and she did a nice job with it. I could have used way more hair from her to make it the RuPaul look, but I liked her look.
Milk, please. So, a lot of you people who comment on our videos ask why we don't like Milk. Now, a lot of people have said that drag is not one note. There's a huge variety.
Mm-hmm. And even within those varieties, there's varieties. Mm-hmm. Within camp, you have glamour camp, you have avant-garde camp, you have androgynous camp.
You have, like, skag drag. And then there's just dressing as a man. And if you're going to wear a bald cap, I don't want to see the bald cap. Courtney brought up in the Untucked Lounge, maybe she just doesn't have the makeup skills to pull off a more glamorous look. And I think Courtney might be onto something, actually.
One of our followers, Andrew Davey, First of all, shout out to you. You are faithful and loyal, and we love you.
Let's cheers to him.
Cheers to you. He commented on our videos, and he was talking about milk. And he also said that there's a difference between multi-dimensional drag and then just not being sloppy and just not being put together. And Michelle Visage even said, Milk, part of me should be offended that you would come down the runway wearing pants. And she didn't say it, but to me, it was kind of like all of these girls are standing here who are putting forth their best effort to look like RuPaul. And some of these are in stunning evening gowns. Stunning. And the pants just, to me, it made a mockery of the whole challenge. I am all for individuality, and I think that if you look at queens like Sharon Needles and Jinx Monsoon, there's a way to stay true to yourself while still taking criticism, and criticism that will take you to the next level in your own drag. Mm-hmm. This week, bottom two were Laganja and Gia.
Milk, it should have been you.
Laganja sent Gia home.
Can I just say that this lip sync, Gia versus Laganja, should have been phenomenal. They are both amazing dancers, both amazing performers.
And it was a dud.
It was a dud. I think
every other lip sync has been much better. For those of you who watch the other videos, yes, I am overjoyed that Gia has finally left us. I just haven't had a lot to say about her this episode because there are other queens that are more worthy of the shade that I've been throwing this week.
Laganja, when she started lip syncing, she was death dropping right out of the gates, and I just
first
don't like
thing,
that.
2 seconds in, bam, on the floor.
I think that you need to work up to that. That's the way I would perform.
Right.
And then Gia does her little reveal. I loved Bianca's little read. She says, if you're going to do a reveal, you got to reveal. Reveal is French for take the shit off.
Oh my gosh.
I love when this is something we disagree with. I love when Gia gets told to sashay away. She walks to the back of the stage. She turns around and she goes, y'all are still dudes.
You should leave the stage with grace and poise. That is my personal opinion. I do agree with you in the sense that based on that challenge, Milk probably should have gone home. And was she upset?
I would have been upset.
I would have been too. If someone else came out doing all of that shenanigans, I would have been upset beyond belief that they
didn't even have to lip sync.
I'm happy she's going home, and I just felt like she was a very toxic addition to the environment the entire time. So hopefully things will get better now that she's gone. But, I mean, all bottom three. I think all three of them knock them out. Get them out of here. But
rid of some dead weight.
Laganja. Let's just get this out of the way. She takes everything so personally. So personally. She just makes everything about her. And she brought up the whole Untucked from last week again.
Yeah.
And she can't make it through any episode without crying. Bianca hit it right on the head. If you're going to have all of these emotions and all of these issues and whatever is going on in your head, apply it to the challenge, and maybe you'll get a little bit further. Now that Adore and Bianca are the power couple of the season, they basically just teamed up to frickin' steamroll Laganja. I mean, Laganja was trying to talk, and they were just shooting her down left and right.
Trinity mentions that she's really sort of insecure because she comes out as HIV positive in this episode.
Props to her.
Yeah, I admire your courage.
That takes nerve. I was so impressed with how gracefully she was able to deal with that. Mm-hmm. She didn't make a big deal out of it. She didn't break down on the runway. And that is not a read on Angina. I love her. I'm just saying that Trinity, the way that she told the queens, she was open about it and very calm and just stated what it was. And I thought that was a beautiful moment for her. If you've watched the next 10 minutes, she takes a moment at the beginning and said, I know that not everybody was in the room when I talked about this, and I want all of you to know. Not in terms of I want all of you to pity me, just I want to be an open book, and I want you guys to know that this is my situation.
And I'm so proud of her for this. Mm-hmm. So proud of her.
The other thing I noticed, when Adore and Bianca were taking out Laganja, Milk sat there and she just kind of sat back and didn't say a word. That was a smart strategy because they were all kinds of riled up, and I'm sure they had something to say about the pants and the whole man look as well. But they were so laser focused on Laganja that Milk just stayed out of the crossfire and nobody opened a word to say anything against her. You know what? She played the game, so good for her. Here's my shade list for the week. It's going to be real short and cute. Milk, she wore pants. Laganja, she won't stop crying. Gia, because why the hell not? This is the last time she's going to make my shade list.
It's pretty much always her shade list. I never really have much to say.
My dusted of the week would be, I'm going to say Bianca, because her Snatch Game was perfect. I will say that her runway wasn't as good as I would have liked it. So I guess overall of the week would probably actually be Dela, because she nailed both the runway and the challenge. But I think in the challenge, Bianca did just like that much better.
My dusted of the week would also have to be Dela, because I think that was one of the best runway looks, period, ever, all 5 seasons. And that Snatch Game might have been better than Chad Michaels.
Moving on to my most busted of the week, I'm going to say Laganja, because her Snatch Game was bad, her runway was bad, her attitude was bad, her crying was bad, everything about her is bad.
What about her lip sync?
Her lip sync was, well, she didn't do much lip sync, she was just dancing, which was only bad because she started it off with her one signature move that she has. So, but I mean, also Gia, because why would you side with Laganja? And you're going to say it, but I'm also going to say Milk, and I'm going to let you take it away.
Yeah, unlike Lynnea, I pick one person for my dusted and busted of the week. And this week, my busted of the week was Milk, because in the workroom, RuPaul comes in, and it seems like Milk isn't even taking it seriously, and then the challenge rolls around and she's not landing any jokes.
Milk had that long joke that went forever, and bam, her camera time was gone!
Mm-hmm. And then, for reasons already stated, that runway, if you're going to a drag competition, you best be wearing something feminine.
So we've watched the next 10 minutes of next week's episode, and the mini challenge is reading, because reading is what?
Fundamental.
Exactly. Get my reading glasses on here. I thought that Laganja and Darian were not very good at the reading, although Darian won.
Bianca should have won.
Bianca did a great job.
Bianca Del Rio. It should have been you.
This challenge for next week is a 90s style rap battle.
I think the bottom 2. Let's just, because it's hard to tell who's going to do well. Bottom 3. I'm going to say bottom 3. Milk, Jocelyn, and Darian Lake, because I don't see any of them being good at rapping. But you know what's going to fucking happen? Jocelyn's going to win this challenge, because every time you count her out, she just comes out from nowhere and just blows everyone away. Like, she really is the dark horse of this competition.
I don't know what the runway look's going to be, but is Adora dressed yet? Who do you think is going to do well?
Laganja, Bianca, Trinity.
Courtney. Courtney writes songs that have raps in them.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I forgot about Courtney this week because they didn't show her at all.
She can fly.
She got no camera time.
Also, can we mention how shady Darian Lake has become? Because they walk into the lounge and Courtney has that beautiful, like, winged look. And Darian's like, oh, let's clip your wings and push you off a cliff. Last week, I was like, hey, Darian's okay. And then this week, I'm just like, there's no reason for me to like her anymore.
Nope.
It seems like weekly our opinions change.
I know.
I'm gonna miss Gia.
We're done. So this was our review of the 5th episode of Season 6 of RuPaul's Drag Race Snatch Game. Thank you for watching, as always. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.
Bye. Today we're going to show you how to make the Gia Gunn in honor of the fallen queen, who sadly sashayed away after the Snatch Game. So because she was well known for saying, absolutely, we're going to use Absolute Vodka. So this cocktail has 1 shot of vodka in it. And then we're also going to add half an ounce of Aero Blue Curacao liqueur. And we're also going to add half an ounce of Dick Piper Sour Apple Pucker. And we're also going to add a splash of Rose's sweetened lime juice. And then finally, we're going to top it off with lemonade. And that's Gia Gunn, absolutely.